Yo, what's up everybody, KingGBL here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be showcasing my run to Veteran. I hit Veteran yesterday with this quite interesting team of Annihilate, Medicham in the back with Mantine lead. I said that really weird, I should have said Mantine, Annihilate, Medicham. But I think Medicham's quite an interesting one for this team, and I did start seeing a few more Mantines in the meta. I thought it was kind of a cool option. Does very well into things like Gastrodon. It beats the Mandibles here with Ice Beam, and I thought it was kind of a decent thing. I was expecting a lot more Annihilate leads. I didn't really see that many with Mantine lead, but in general it performed pretty well, and I was able to catch a few mob boys with it. In my opinion, the most interesting thing about this team is Psycho Cut Medicham on the safe swap. I thought it was kind of a cool idea because Dynamic Punches are so good right now. I think it's straight 5 to Dynamic Punch, so even if you get met by Mandibles, which would be one of the harder answers, you can get off 2 Dynamic Punches, puts a lot of damage into it, puts it into a position where Annihilate doesn't have to see it, and you can look to deal with it with Mantine. I'm running Psychic as my secondary move because of course this matchup right here is pretty bad for Medicham. I do end up getting off a last second move. At this point in the season, I'm very high up. I'm playing against really good battlers who are perfect at counting. They know the Psycho Cut Medi counts, and we look like we're in a kind of tricky position here. What I decided to do in this matchup is come with Vape, do one counter, go for the catch, and we do get a little bit of a peekaboo play here. This puts me in a winning position now. It was going to be a little bit tricky before because the opponent could have got both shields off me. They had a massive energy lead with Ape, and of course, you know that's pretty much game over for most teams. They come back into Gastrodon. It's getting fairly low at this point, and I think we're in a good position to win this battle. Like I said, I think the catch was really vital for this win. We're going to shield up. In fact, I decided to call it because I think the opponent's on 8 Mud Slaps right here. I call it, the opponent goes for Body Slam. All we have to do is go for Rage Fist on the Annihilate. That's going to be good games. The opponent's going to concede the match. By the way, I'm going to pause the video really quick to fix my microphone here. Yeah, hopefully that's not too loud or anything at the minute. For the last couple of days, it's been kind of weird, like it's cutting in and out a little bit. But anyway, we get the Mantine lead. With the Mandibles lead with the Mantine. We go for 10 and fro here. It takes 8 to get to the Ice Beam, which would be bad timing. So we do 10 and fro on the Mandibles. They do often let this move go, and I'm pretty happy with this case, because of course we've got double fighter in the back. We're so happy to see this in the front. The opponent will get off multiple moves here, but Air/Mandibles, pretty slow to moves, and we're very happy, like I said, to see it in the lead. We do 4 and fro here for good timing. We'll go for an Ice Beam. Double Ice Beam will look to knock this out, and we'll see what the opponent decides to come in with. They come in with their own Annihilate. Thankfully, we're still healthy enough where we can pretty much look to get this move off. They actually tank the move. I safe swap into Medicham with Psycho Cut. I can take the first move. If it's Shadow Ape, they can basically get this off and pretty much farm you the whole way down. Because it's non-Shadow, we're able to basically tank the move first, go for Dynamic Punches at this range, and look to try and Psycho Cut all the way down. I was kind of tempted to let this go, but I was wondering, I wonder is it something that's weak to specifically Psychic? Psychic, of course, would look to be doing a lot of damage to Toxapex or some other different Pokemon. The opponent lets the Psychic go, and yeah, that's good games well played. I think if you're going to run Medicham in this meta, it needs to have Psychic as a double nuke moveset. Very flexible with that moveset. Ice Punch is non-stab anyway. Psychic, a bit of a crap move now. But as you can see here, the Toxapex is whenever you bring in Medi, they basically stay in. Psychics do roughly about half, as you can see, with the Psycho Cut damage. So very decent damage. I decided to respect the move. I'm thinking this is going to be double Dragon. The opponent indeed does come into a Dragon. They come into Hakmo-O. The opponent makes, I think, a very good call here. They call a Dynamic Punch, so they let the move go. This is Nissa Beefin here, by the way, who's a very good battler. Unfortunately for him, I've matched against him a few times this week, and it just so happens that my team has been RPSing his team quite a lot, which is pretty unfortunate. I decided to let this go. I know it's going to be Como-O in the back. I've seen this team a few times from other people as well. We're coming into Mantine. We're going to farm all the way down, basically. He will get off 1 or 2 more Dragon Claws here, but we should be able to farm it down pretty comfortably as well. So, yep, in comes Ape, in comes the Toxapex once again, and in comes the Como-O. Since he has a shield, we're going to look to go for the Rage Fist here. If you land a Rage Fist, you can farm it all the way down anyway, and with that energy lead, we'll be doing very fine into the Toxapex. I only need to go for a Rage Fist at this point. I don't have to go for the super effective Ice Punch. As you can see, these counters are destroying it. We do win CMP tie against Como-O, which is somewhat surprising. It's a very attack-weighted Pokemon, but we're in a great position now. Back in comes Toxapex. They can't quite farm, oh, they actually do quite farm us down, but we get off an early ace with the Mantine. And at this point, we actually do live a Sludge Wave, so we're pretty comfortable here at this point. Good games well played. It actually kind of did get a little bit close, but my team is just so good into this team, so it is one of them ones. So I believe in the first set we went 3-2, and we're up to, we gained 7 elo. We started off in 24-32, we're up to 39 now. And when you get to this elo, like this high up in the season, where there's not many people at your elo, you gain nothing for getting free 2s. You gain minimal elo, but I think at a 2 free the day before yesterday, and I lost, I think, 40 elo, 30 elo for a 2 free. It's pretty insane. We get a Charmer in the lead. Of course, we've got double fighter in the back. Pretty obvious what we want to do here. We're going to stay in, we're going to shield up, and we're going to look to basically build up a little bit of extra energy. Brion's a bit of a joke of a Pokemon. I think I probably could have farmed this down, but Brion's a bit of a joke. These charms do nothing. It's decently bulky. Non-stab charm, it's a bit of a joke. They come into Annihilate, so they must be pretty weak to flying. Maybe it's like Charm Double Fighter or some bullshit like that. I decided to come into Medi. So once again, this is non-shadow, so I can take the Rage Fist first. I will be looking to go for Psychic on this. I go for the extra in case the opponent decides to catch. They do catch and miscash. In general, you want to throw a Dynamic Punch, it's a much better move. I'm going to get off the second one, and this is kind of awkward now because if you look at this, I don't really get a huge energy lead with my Annihilate, which is of course what I would love to have. So this is a little bit tricky. I sort of decide, okay, I have to kind of just take this, come in with Ape. I only get one counter free here, so I think I need to make a catch to win this battle here. I go for the catch on CMP. The opponent actually does the extra, but I don't think they've quite seen the catch. They go for Rage Fist here. They can't undercharge it, but I think that might have just took me out anyway. This is basically game over. Will I pace to 2? Good games well played there. The nice thing about these battles is the matches are really coming down to what I'm doing in the end. Quite an interesting lead in Guzzly. Even with Dynamic Punch, I believe this beats Medi, but I decide to try to draw out something with Annihilate here. Because of course we're double weak to Flying in the back, or double weak to Charm. I decide to basically draw something out and get energy with Mantine to deal with the Guzzy in this case. I think sometimes that's what you want to do. Now quite interestingly, I think this was a misplay. I shouldn't have went for that shield, because as I mentioned, getting the energy would have been much better here. They actually just let it go. They come into their own Ape, they farm me all the way down. We did get Mantine on Ape, which is nice, but you're going to see that Shadow Ape versus Mantine, it's not comfortable for me whatsoever. Basically if they land Rage Fist in the 2 shield, they can basically counter all the way down if they keep going Rage Fist. It's a stupid matchup. It kind of speaks to how flying damage is pretty nerfed in this meta. They come into Guzzy. Pretty naively, I would say, I go for the nuke here. They probably just never let that go. They're pretty smart, they throw just before he reaches the move. And we're in a bit of an awkward position because we can land a Dynamic Punch, we've done some wing attack damage, but this probably won't be quite enough to knock it out. If we land the Dynamic Punch, we're going to have to basically Psycho Cut down, which is never a great feeling, unless I can just overfarm like crazy. I farm up to 100 energy here. I throw in slightly bad timing to get 100 energy, the opponent lets the move go, they come back into Ape, and because I farmed up to 100 energy, by the time I'm throwing off this move, the opponent's at 5 counters, they're 1 off the move, so had he not farmed up perfectly, I would have been taking the loss here, but thankfully, Dynamic Punch, even though double resisted, will be knocking out the Ape. That's good games well played. In the next one we get an Ape lead, fantastic lead for Mantine. The opponent swaps in their Dugong or Lapras in this case. We come into our Annihilate here. I make, I think, a slight misplay in this matchup, but maybe not. They go for Sparkling, I of course shield it. I know that they don't die to this, but maybe I could have undercharged. We'll see how many counters I can get. 1, 2, 3. I think I could have undercharged a little bit here, but we do get off a Rage Fist, we'll probably get the shield back off the opponent, and we'll maintain good alignment. If it's Annihilate plus 2 things weak to counter, Medicham should be pretty decent in the back. The opponent here goes for CMP. I've played this battler a few times this week. They know that they're Ape on CMP, so they basically just go for it here. Yep, I'm going to go for this Rage Fist, get all shields down, and I think with shields down, we're in a good position here. I've played this battler a few times this week, I have a good idea of what's going to be in the back. It is more Peko. In comes Medicham. In the 0 shield scenario, Medicham just wipes the floor with it. We can take an Aura Wheel, even overfarm a little bit if we want to, and look to take them out. In comes Mandibuzz versus Mandy. Once again, we're so happy to see this in the lead. The opponent comes into a Quaggy. I don't know about this play. I think I probably should have swapped out to Annihilate very quickly here, because Annihilate just kind of runs through this. We'll take 1 Aqua Tail, we can easily survive it. The opponent I think is on Mud Bomb here. They go for Mud Bomb number 1. We're going to look to shield up the second one. I believe Mud Bomb is straight 5. I thought it might be 5-5-4, so I decided to throw in 4 here instead of going for CMP. We'll see if the opponent wants to shield it to get my last shield, or what the opponent basically wants to do here. If they shield, I'm going to shield back because we can basically get the shield back off Ape. We're boosted up, so if it is like a Mandibuzz in the back, for example, we can look to get off a heavy damage Ice Punch. It is Mandibuzz that comes in, we get off a heavy damage Ice Punch. This will do roughly about half to them, put them into Ice Beam range. They end up shielding it, and I'm pretty happy with that. They do shield, but Mantine from this range should be very, very fine here. We can look to build up to the Ice Beam. 1 Ice Beam won't quite knock it out, so we'll probably need an Ice Beam plus an Ace. The opponent's actually in Dark Pulse, they come into the Lantern, we come into Medicham. This is a really interesting matchup now. This was a win for Medi on counter. However, you're seeing Dynamic Punch does a little bit under half to the Lantern. The opponent's got an energy lead, they'll reach a Thunderbolt and a Surf here easily. The one massive disadvantage for Medicham is the fast move pressure is no longer there. With counter, you could basically punch stuff down, land these moves, punch it down, but with Psycho Cut, it's so hard to farm stuff down. As you can see, the Lantern's in a really healthy range here still. We do survive the Surf, but I tend to get the Psycho Cuts off. The Psycho Cuts are going to be doing more than wing attacks. We farm it all the way down, taking a lot of damage here. Back in comes Mandibuzz. I'll look to 1 in for the Ice Beam, see how much damage it's going to do. Hopefully a lot. It doesn't do enough by the looks of things. Can we survive a move here? The opponent actually for some reason doesn't throw the move. I think we might have survived, but we do reach the second Ice Beam. That's good games well played. And we're actually on course for a 5-0 this set. We need a 5-0 to hit Veteran. Let's see what we can do here. Once again, we get Mantine versus Mandibuzz. Again, I'm very happy to see this in the front. I guess this is kind of lucky at this point because, you know, we don't want to see this in the back. Ape can somewhat deal with this. Ape is kind of stupid. If you land an Ice Punch, you can basically 2 shield farm it down with Rage Fist, which is kind of ridiculous. The opponent brings in Quagsire here. I decided to go for Ice Beam this time because I've got a huge energy lead. I can basically look to throw a nuke at it, get it really low. I come into Medicham this time just to not take any energy on the Annihilate here, and of course I have a Mandibles in the lead. I'd rather keep my Eep in the back, just in case the opponent decides to shield through Mantine. We look to go for Dynamic Punch here, the opponent ends up shielding it, and I'm not too sure what I want to do here. I can survive a move. If the opponent makes it to 2, I'll have a choice to make. Do I want to get energy with Ape? They actually go for a Snipe, that's perfect. They're going to dump a lot of energy. Air Slash is very, very slow to moves. It takes, I believe, 5 and then 4 to Aurelius. And of course, if they go for Dark Pulse, it'll be a little bit more expensive. So I'm happy the opponent dumps their energy there. They go for Dark Pulse on the Mantine. And I'm thinking at this point, they should most likely let this go. If they were to shield here, I probably would just let the Mantine go and try to 2-shield through with Ape. The opponent comes into Gastrodon, we come into Annihilate. Can we still win this matchup here? They've got a lot of fast move pressure. I get this Rage Fist off in good timing. They've only got 1 shield. They actually shield the first one. I can understand why they would shield that, because they would just basically get farmed down. This is going to come down to a call here at this point, I think. The opponent goes for another, I think, Body Slam here. I have to call this because I think the opponent does make another move with the Quagsire. Good games well played there. And like I said, we've just absolutely cooked with this team. I think the best team I showcased this week was the team from yesterday or the day before, but I found this team to be very flexible. I really enjoyed this. I even tried it with Gastrodon instead of Medi. I had a somewhat negative day today just based on what I was seeing. I was seeing just very RPS lines, like Droopy on lead with Mandibles in the back, you know, stuff that's really just RPS. So you could try this out. I'm not sure if it's like an amazing team for climbing, but Medicham was very interesting and I definitely had a good time using it. We had Veteran, my earliest time ever hitting Veteran in the season, and big thank you everybody for watching. If you did enjoy today's video, drop a like, subscribe, it's much appreciated. Feel free to become a member if you want some perks and if you want to support the channel, and of course join our Discord in the description down below. Big thank you everybody, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time.